Well, all I can say is what a difference a month makes, especially this time of year. It's April, it's late April, and it's just glorious out here. Last month we were still seeing snow, still talking about snow, still photographing snow and ice, but everything has changed. It's now officially spring and everything's greening up and the birds are chirping and flowers are blooming, or at least threatening to bloom. And we've got stuff out here in the mini greenhouse. That's some peppers. These are tomatoes that were getting so big we decided to transplant them into bigger pots. Vanina did that for me last weekend, and she also picked up some nasty poison ivy, but that's another story. And chives, I finally weeded the chives, got all the grass, or at least most of it, out of there, and they're looking pretty healthy. You can see all sorts of daffodils that are threatening to go. This is an empty tub, but it's going to be a water feature once I get all that stuff moved outside. A little early for that yet. And the pet memorial area here, all the irises are coming up, and we got some other types of daffodils that are getting ready to bloom. And then inside, there's all kinds of stuff inside. We've got the melons going, and we've got some peppers and eggplants still in there, and we're growing stevia this year, which is the the plant that the artificial sweetener comes from, and I thought that would be kind of fun. That was Vanita's idea. And then also artichoke. It's way in the back in one of the shots there, very tall, long leaves. Never tried that before, so we'll take a look at that. And out here, we've got our brassicas already planted in the open garden with the protective anti-bunny fence all around it. And this year we're doing cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower, which I've never tried before. And so that should be fun. We're passing on the Brussels sprouts this year. And this is the potato bed. They're all planted. I have yet to see anybody come up, although I think if you look closely there, you can see the soil sort of cracking. That means the potato is shoots are starting to push up against the soil. This is all onion, and they look a little, yellowed on the ends and stuff like that, but that's normal for this time of year. Right after they've been transplanted into the soil, they'll recover quickly. And in the circle here, we've got some daffodils still blooming, and puppies working very hard at catching up on their excavations that have been, so neglected all winter long. And they are in fact wearing, sorry Jesse, their Easter egg scarfies, even though it's long past Easter, but since it's still April, we figure that's okay. We'll switch out to something else soon. Our planters are pretty vacant right now, as are most of the beds. This is going to be where all the winter squash and melons go. But I did manage to get some fresh topsoil and mushroom soil and sand, and got that all moved in. I've got some time-lapse photography of that project, which was a major project in and of itself. But that's all done. All the beds are tilled and ready to go. And underneath, you can see the rows marked by those flags. Underneath here we have a couple of rows of peas, and then this is leeks, and you can see they're fairly tall. When I put them in, they were only maybe an inch above the surface of the ground, and so they're already growing, although they do have those yellowy tips, but that's again just due to that's the way they normally look this time of year. And if you look really closely, I can see that in fact I think we have some beets starting to show. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe those are weeds that need to be taken out. But that's a row of beets right there. The rest of this bed is vacant until we get down to the other end. And here we have kohlrabi and a couple of rows of carrots, a couple of rows of lettuce, and the radishes. And definitely the radishes are up. You can see those guys. They're always the first to come up, and I was a little concerned because I didn't see any evidence of them as recently as, well, I guess it was 2 days ago, so it makes sense I might have missed those. So I've also got some aerial footage, and I'll be splicing that in here. I may have already spliced it in here, I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to put in all my addendum cut-in shots. I even got some underwater pond shots of the fish. That's something that GoPro and waterproof housing allows me to do. That's kind of fun. It's probably not the last time I'll be doing that. But the trees are starting to leaf out. This is the Japanese maple, and there's the pond beyond it, looking pretty good. It's been vacuumed a few times. The water's pretty clear, and in general we're approaching the sort of what I call the lime green stage of spring, which is because that's the color most of the tree leaves are, and it's really brilliant and almost glowing, a glowing green, and it's just really great out here. And we've gone through, April can be very fickle between snowstorms and on one end and 90-degree days on the other. We haven't really had either this April. It's just been kind of a slow, steady warming. The cold weather hung on for a long time. But the last 3 weekends have really been good spring weekends. Very warm spring-like feeling, as opposed to the cold spring-like feeling that so often happens, especially in April. You never know what you're going to get in April. But we've almost turned the corner to May, and May, as I've said before, is the busiest time outdoors here at the manor and in the garden. But I'm getting some excellent help from Vanina if I don't injure her too much by making her work on things that give her poison ivy. But everything's going pretty well. No bad surprises yet. Things seem to be looking pretty good in the mini greenhouse, as well as the indoor stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing, that I am inside there. I've got the sweet potato slips that I'm growing myself. I also have some coming from Johnny's seeds, but the ones that I started myself from last year's sweet potatoes, they were doing so well in rooting, and I decided to go ahead and plant them in peat pots, which I've never done before. And they really, usually they just say you get the slips and then you plant them in the ground. But anyway, so that's what those tall plants that you saw in under the lights. All right. So what else? Is there anything I missed? I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, I'm sure you can hear at points the birds chirping behind me, and the grass is just vibrant green and ready to be mowed. I think I'll be mowing this weekend. And of course the pups are happy to be out here, although they've kind of got a one-track mind right now. Both of them are pretty heavily into digging, and Frankie manages to get the mud all over everything, including the chairs and everything else, but he's having a good time. Right, Frankie boy? Oh, no, he's decided that Jessie had a better excavation point, and Jessie didn't like that because she only likes 1 point, and if he gets his nose in there, it ruins it for her. But anyway, I'm rambling as usual, and just enjoying the weather. It's a little cloudy right now, but no rain expected, and it's going to be a magnificent weekend, especially Sunday. It's going to be up in the upper 70s. Right now it's very calm too, so it's just gorgeous out here. And you can see forsythia blooming out there. There's, I don't know if you can see it or saw it in some of the aerial shots, or are seeing it if I'm showing it right now. But the trees are blooming as well, and just a glorious time of year, and we're having a good time, and that's going to do it for us. Next month's video will be May, the busiest time in the garden, and things really begin to take off, and a lot of stuff goes in the ground and is showing in the garden, as opposed to right now, which is very little. And we'll see you then. So hope you all are having a great spring. We're having a pretty good spring around here. My shoulder surgery, I'm recovering from that. It's hasn't slowed me down from doing things out here. So now you know probably more than you even wanted to know about Marvin Gardens April 2015. And we will see you next month in May. Bye everybody.